All right, and we are live. So, guys, here we go. We are going to now add colors to things with changing very little. All we are really going to do is we are going to add a new list, and we're going to call that list colors. Okay, so I'm going to go up here right to the top of my code, right before I even do pixels, and I'm going to make a new list called colors. Okay, I'm going to say colors equals. I'm going to use my square bracket, and this is not going to be a list of lists. This is just going to be a list. Okay, now in this case, guys, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to use these numbers that I used for pixels to actually call on and specify a color in the process. Okay. Now 0 is no pixel, so I don't want that to be a color. And I want 0 in one of my pixel lists to correspond to 0 in my color list. Okay. So I'm going to just use a double quote here. Okay. So that if it calls on 0, there's essentially nothing there. And so it'll just go, okay, that's nothing. Okay? So it's not specifying a color of any sort. Now, a 1 in my list right now, for me, yeah. Oh, have you put the video up yet? If not, we can get it there. Okay. All right. So a 1 in my list, guys, right now corresponds to the color black, right? Because that's what I did down here in my for I in range. If it equals to 1, it's going to draw my square, right? It's calling square, so it's going to draw a pixel. Right now, that pixel is black because I've specified that down here. And at this point, guys, I'm going to go down here where I specified my color before, and I'm going to delete that line because now we're going to use our pixels list to actually call upon our colors. Okay, I don't need to specify a color. Okay. All right. So since I'm going to maintain that being black, a 1 now in my pixel list is going to represent black. Okay. So I'm going to type in black in quotes there, and so it'll switch my color to black. I'll have to actually write a code to specifically do that. Okay. And I'm going to add 2 more colors to my color list. I'm going to add red, and I am going to add blue, but you guys can add whatever colors you want. And I'm going to end that with my square bracket. And there is my brand new list. So I am going to use that list. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pixels in here to correspond to one of these colors. 0 being nothing, no pixel. 1 being black. And now if I go in here and instead of having a 0 or a 1, if I put a 2 or a 3 on there, I can change that to red or black. Okay, so now in my code, this was a little guy. I want him to have a red shirt. And so I'm going to go back in, and everywhere in my pixels append where I would have his shirt, I'm going to put a 2 instead of a 1 there. I'm going to put 2, 2, 2. So you guys do this on yours. Just start changing some colors around. And everywhere where I want it to be blue, I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a 3 because it is technically the 4th item in the list. It's 0, 1, 2, 3. So everywhere I wanted blue pixel instead of a black pixel, I'm going to go in and put a 3 in its place. Okay. I happen to know where I want these colors to be, so I can do it pretty quickly. All right. So I just changed my drawing with a bunch of numbers, 1, 2s, and 3s, or 0. So each one corresponds to the color I want it to be. Now, if you run this at this point, you will see that it will not work. Okay? If I run it now, in fact, all I'm going to get is just a few black pixels. But I'm going to go ahead and run it and show you what I'm talking about. It skipped all of my colors. It skipped all of the colored portions. So all I've got, or whatever I originally left, is black. And that's because in our original code, if we go and look at it, we are going to find down here that for my this, I say if the pixel ij equals 1. Well, now I've got more than just 1 as an option, right? I've got 0, 1, 2, 3. So what I want to say is basically I want it to draw a pixel every time the number is 1 or greater. So I am going to say I'm going to switch equals to 1 to greater, whoops, than 0. Okay? And that'll provide the same thing. Now if I run it, I've got this. It draws my pixel again, but it's still all in one color. Okay? So by saying greater than 1 or greater than 0, I didn't actually change anything. That still leaves 0 as being no pixel. Okay? And anything greater than 0 as representing the pixel. But now I've got to write just 2 lines of code here to change that so it will reference my color, okay, that color list, and then it'll be able to change my colors of pixels. Okay, so here we go. This is what I'm going to do. All right, so now I say if pixel ij, so remember that calls the list, which numbered list I'm going to. J calls the number within that list, right? So if this was 3, 4, it would be my, the list number 3, and it would be item number 4. Just so we're there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a new variable called new color. Okay, new color. And I'm going to set that to being whatever number was in my pixels list at the same position that I was calling in my function here. So I, J. Okay. So again, if I'm calling pixels, if I'm calling on 3, 4, it will set whatever the color is to the number at 3 and 4. So it would set my new color variable to whatever that is, a 2 or a 3 or a 0 or 1. Okay? All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write into here a change in the color of my turtle. Okay, so my turtle's name is Pix. So I'm going to dot Pix dot color. Okay? And for that color, I am going to call on my list, which is called colors. Okay? So I'm going to call my list colors, and I'm going to specify inside that list which number in the list, 0, 1, 2, or 3. And I'm going to do that by setting it to whatever my variable new color is. See? So if new color variable gets turned to a 2, it's going to call on red. If it gets turned to a 3, it'll call on blue. 1 will be black, and 0 will be no color whatsoever. Okay? Okay. And it's done. If I run it now, here's what I should get. Check it out. Ah, colors. Look at that. And we're done. We did it. We added colors to it. All right. See that, guys? 3 lines of code, 1 deletion for a net gain of 2 lines of code to get color. Did it make sense what happened there, guys? Do I need to parse it for anybody so that it makes sense? Yeah. I'm more than happy to parse it, walk it through with some number. Okay. This is very computer sciencey at this point. Uh-huh.